it was really interesting because it enabled me to really expand my teaching abilities. And because of that, I had a lot of chances to, find out new ways, new activities, new things to do. I really liked it. You really do feel like part of the community, not just at schools, but in town as a whole. Again, that might be something you can get in a city as well, but I think it's a lot more natural in a rural area too. The grandfathers of students I was teaching, would come and say hello to me at the supermarket, or I would teach the brother and sister, in the elementary school, and then teach the older brother or older sister in junior high or high school. So you really do feel like you get to know the town and the people and the culture and everything. You find it's actually quite easy to meet, and make friends with other people out there. I find because everyone's in kind of the same situation where it's not as many non-native people in the area, and so you meet one, and then you've met someone who knows who all the other people are. So it is a really good way to network and make really good friendships at the start, because I basically got off the plane and was met by one of the branch staff members who helped me get everything set up. So the first day was more just about moving in and helping get set up, but even the very next day, he was there in the morning to help get the internet set up and help take me to the Board of Education and meet all the people there and go to the schools. And then after that, we also went and got my bank account set up and even set up some like automatic transfers for things like the school lunch and water bill. So it was really great coming from overseas, having that support. Just to start off, it really made everything a lot easier than if I had to come and try to figure it out myself. It was, I believe, about 5 days of training, and it was all day long, and there were breaks, of course, and lunch and so on. But it was definitely more intensive than I had in previous roles. In my other teaching role in Korea, it was basically first 2 days they said, okay, watch classes, and then here you go. But for Interac, coming to Japan, it was a lot about what to expect on the first few days, not just in terms of your lessons, but in terms of going to school and visiting people and greeting the principal, and even things like driving in Japan they covered. And then for teaching, it was not just about, here's some activities you can do, but it was, why are these activities the way they are, or why are they successful, why are they useful? So it was really helpful for building those skills. Even though I did have a couple years teaching myself, I did find I was learning a lot, in that training that I didn't know before, I hadn't really thought about. And it was certainly something that was very useful for getting started in Japan. I knew that there were some other providers out there, but none of them really have that level of support, or especially in Hokkaido, have like an office in Sapporo. Having that kind of more local support, and since Interac does have branches all across the country, they can provide that even to the people who are in more rural areas. It may still be a bit of a journey, but it's not like you're way off in the middle of Aomori Ken and the office is only in Osaka or something like that. There's some staff members who are reasonably close, which even in an emergency or something. Of course, Interac has staff that are there for that kind of emergency and can help you out. Having someone a little bit closer does make you feel a little bit more comfortable, I think. I really enjoyed driving in the rural areas. It's something I really do miss, not being in Hokkaido anymore, because it was just it was just one of the best ways to pass the time some days, especially when there was nice weather. You could just spend hours on the roads, and in the rural areas there's very, very little traffic, of course, and even if it's like a mountain pass, it's still pretty safe, and the speed limits are a little bit low, but from where compared to my hometown, but it is still it's still such a relaxing thing sometimes. But being in a rural area, it is just immersive to say the least, I think. And there were very many opportunities to use Japanese, and really being in that kind of environment really makes you need to learn it and embrace the Japanese rather than you might in the city you might be able to get by without it, but in the rural area it really encourages you, I think. It was all because I just took that extra step of putting myself out there and looking for it and going to it. I think that taking that first step is probably the most difficult.